It's the Terrible at Fishing radio show on Gold Country Radio. Here's your fishing expert and host, Michael Ruffino.
Oh, welcome back to Terrible at Fishing for this week. This week has been crazy. My wife and I, we've been riveted, just like most of you probably, to what's happening in Southern California. So our thoughts, our prayers are with everyone down in Southern California. What's happening down there, I'm recording this on Thursday, still at 0% containment. We got off the phone with a friend of ours, and many of our friends have lost their homes in Altadena. We moved here from Los Angeles, and I'll tell you a story of why we moved. 5 years ago was really the straw that broke our camel's back. There was a fire called the Tick Fire, and we lived in Canyon Country over by Santa Clarita, and that morning was like every other morning. It's beautiful, and I went bird watching. And then the kids wanted to go to the public library in Valencia, so we went over to we took the family over to the public library. And while we were in there, a friend of mine called and says, "Mike, there's a fire heading over to your house." And I go, "No, there isn't." I was just bird watching this morning. Did a bird walk. It was beautiful. There's no fire. And he goes, "Oh, there's a fire." And so we stepped outside of the Valencia library, and we looked over, and there was a big plume over approaching our home. So we left the kids at the library. They were old enough, don't worry. And Kathy and I, we went driving to our home, and we lived on Sand Canyon. And by the time we got there, roads were blocked, and so we kind of meandered our way in, and I got out of the car, and I ran up the hill. Fire was all around. I was about 15 feet from walls of fire that were way taller than I can imagine. And I ran in to get our pets, and my cat and my dog. I didn't want them to burn to death. So I got out, and the cat jumped out of my arms, but I still had the dog. And a neighbor pulled up, and I got in his car, and he got me out of there down the hill to my wife. And I was, we were worried. Homes were being burned all around us, and I looked at my wife and I said, "Look, it's just stuff. It's just stuff." And all those people down there that are losing their homes and have lost their homes, they're great. I'm actually very, very happy that only 5 people have lost their lives, but as of this moment, and sad that 5 people lost their lives. We have a lot of friends down there, obviously, and friends put us up in their home for a few days until the fire was controlled and extinguished at the Tick Fire, and homes around us were destroyed. Our house was not. It was a lot of smoke damage. A lot of smoke damage. Took a lot to clean it up. What's happening is it does bring back memories. It wasn't the only fire that we survived, but it was definitely the closest. Next door neighbor destroyed, a house was completely leveled. And it was our wake-up call. Southern California, you get a lot of fires because there's no rain, and it's just dry vegetation. And although around our home we had a large, like hundreds of yards of ice plant, which is a really good barrier, by the way. But I mean, embers and flames, they jump it, and we're hitting neighbors' homes. And to be honest, even in my poor health, I was stupid to run up that hill, and I mean, I couldn't breathe. I could barely see where I was going, and I couldn't breathe, and I just wanted. I mean, I forgot all my pills. I mean, to be honest, I just wanted to save my animals. I didn't think about grabbing any stuff besides my animals. And my cat, we were able to find my cat weeks later. And she just recently passed away last year. But she did real good. It was really, that was the straw, was the fires. And I know a little bit of how many of these people feel. And when I got to my wife, got to our car, she was upset. And I was just grateful, that we weren't home. And we were all safe. And when it comes down to this type of event in one's life, you count your blessings. And that day I counted my blessings. I smelled like a fire. I mean, it was crazy. And what those people are going through down in Los Angeles right now, and it is just stuff. I know it's memories, and I know it's this and that. I know. But it's just stuff. And that's what I kept telling my wife. And we can replace stuff, and memories do not go away. They just don't. In fact, memories become more precious to us. They grow in value. Yeah, you don't have a catalog of it anymore, but you have the memories. And I hope our friends and all those people down in LA, nice thing about my faith is that we come to each other's aids. And I know emergency shelters have already been set up down in Los Angeles, and evacuations, and our friends in our faith are taking care of one another right now. I mean, because we're on the phone with them, and everybody's taking care of everybody right now. They are not going without a bed. They are not going without food. In our faith, we rebuild each other's homes, and we take care of each other, and our neighbors, of course. I mean, but faith first. So I spent the opening segment talking about the fires down in Los Angeles. I used to work in Santa Monica, so the Pacific Palisades in that area were customers of mine, and Malibu and Brentwood and that area, Bel Air, believe it or not. And I knew a lot of movie stars, a lot of television stars, a ton of them. I mean, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of them. I mean, and sports stars and stuff like that. I mean, And I've been to their homes, and I've delivered stuff. I've helped them hook up stuff. I've done a lot of stuff down in that area that is now gone. And you don't understand, people don't understand. You think about Pacific Palisades, it sounds really cool, and it is pretty cool. But those people have owned their homes for 50, 60 years. They don't have a lot of money. And their homes are paid off. They're living on Social Security. These are just normal people like you and me. I mean, some are rich, some aren't, but most are not. Most are not. And so, fortunately, the people I know in my faith they're helping each other, and they are so consumed right now with taking care of our brothers and sisters. Hopefully, similar support systems are set up for everybody, but I know that the ones that I know have lost their homes. They're being taken care of, but they're sad and devastated. But it is just stuff. I know. I went kind of a I don't know what what it's going to look like in 24 hours when you guys listen to this. I'm pretty sure it'll still be burning down. And there's just no, right now there's just really no control. So, but we will get back to, some of the news events of this week. Besides the fires, we're going to talk about a challenge that was put upon me this week, and I'll tell you how that went. As you listen to this show, I'm going to tell you where I'm going to be, because I pre-record my shows. I don't know if you knew that. You probably did. So I pre-record my shows, and I try to push this off till Thursday because of what's happening in Los Angeles. And, the heart, that we're seeing in the people down there, too, is phenomenal. The news reports are enrapturing, but I don't want, you watch so much negative, it will affect you. And it brings back the fire that that we had around our house 5 years ago. And it was just 5 years ago. Again, that was my wife looked at me, after I got back in the car, and we were staying at our friend's house, who put our whole family up, 5 of us. They put our whole family up. She goes, "We gotta leave." We gotta leave. We're moving. I go, well, it says one way or another, okay. If we go back and our house isn't there, we're moving. But our house was still there. We just cleaned it up and sold it. And then we moved up here to Klamath Falls, where happened to be 5 years ago, they were having all these wildfires. It was like we were dying. It was like, I thought we were leaving it. I remember 5 years ago? Oh, it was crazy. Northern California and around here, we had fires. And we couldn't, it felt like it was our fault. That Oregon was on fire. We moved up here and there was fires. And it's our fault. Oh, when we drove out of Santa Clarita, there were fires. And in our rearview mirror were just plumes of smoke. And Valencia was on fire. And it just made us happy that we were leaving. So in our next segment, we won't talk about the fires. We're going to talk about other stuff. So I want you all to stay tuned, because I know that 15 minutes was bad, the next 15 minutes is going to be more fun. See you in a few minutes.
Out in the backwoods under the stars, I tune in the radio from my old car. Gold Country Radio on Friday night. Terrible at fishing, but it feels just right.
Want to get your business noticed? Sponsor a show on KKFO Gold Country Radio on 103.3 FM and create awareness through on-air announcements, our online stream at goldcountryradio.org, and our podcasts that live on forever. Your message reaches a broad local audience while also targeting listeners who choose to tune in to the shows they love. Plus, we promote your sponsorship across our website and social media. For more information, email goldcountryradio@gmail.com. Call 541-238-6989 or visit goldcountryradio.org. Gold Country Radio, your message heard locally and beyond.
The Terrible at Fishing Radio Show. Michael's got the secrets and now you know. Can't line your cats just fine. Gold Country Radio.
All right, welcome back to Terrible at Fishing. Now, I am doing some work right now in my studio. I make fishing lures and arts and crafts and stuff like that. I do a lot of art. And so that little humming that I'm going to hopefully in post-production get rid of, it will disappear. But it's a humming. What do I want to talk to you? Let's talk about the challenge. So a few days ago, I see on Facebook, Sidelines Pizzeria. You guys know Sidelines? So it's over on Main Street. And they posted this thing called the Wall of Flame. Now, I didn't know Sidelines. I never go in there practically. My daughter likes the pizza there. But, so I saw the Wall of Flame. I go, now, every place I've ever gone in, now I've known where there was a Wall of Flame. I am on it. All right. I was raised with hot food, and it was, it's nothing. It's not like it would affect me like it does everybody else. I don't have, the exit like everybody else, or the entrance of anybody else. So I posted on Facebook, says, piece of cake, or should I say chicken wings, because their challenge was chicken wings. And so they replied, said, come try. And so my son and I, we were out for a walk, because I live just above downtown on Washington Street. And so in the Uwana Heights. And so my home is like 110 years old, and trying to figure out, who built the home, because I want to name it. And I cannot find, even at the assessor's office, I couldn't find any information on who built this home. So I need to just keep asking. I went to the museum. I went to the library. I've gone online. I know. So anyway, Russell and I, my son, we were walking around and coming up, and I was going to take him to lunch at Amy's for a burger. They got good burgers at Amy's. But we were walking by Sidelines. I go, oh! I looked at my boy. I says, we got to go in here. So we walked inside, and I looked at the Wall of Flame. Wasn't that many people on it, a couple dozen. And so I asked her, I said, what is this thing, Wall of Flame? She goes, she says, you got to eat 10 chicken wings in 7 minutes with a 5-minute burn time. I go, well, that ain't much. She goes, well, a lot of people say that. And she goes, they're like 2 million Scovilles. And I looked at her, I says, 2 million. I go, the hot sauce I cook with is 15 million. I go, I just had 1 million Scovilles last week, and I go, it was like ketchup. I go, cook them up. I said, cook them up. So I did a live on my my YouTube channel, and I just had to. I mean, I got challenged. I mean, my ability to take heat is nothing to be trifled with, nor to be questioned. And there was a wall of flame. Now, so I do a live. I take my camera over to the wall of flame and tell everybody what's going to happen. And they give you a t-shirt. You know, if you succeed, they give you a t-shirt. And they take your picture and they put you on the wall of flame. And I didn't know they gave me an ice cream bar too afterwards. So every place that has a wall of flame's got a shtick. There was one place in Sonora, or Jamestown. It was Jamestown, just south of Sonora, in California, and near Modesto. Jamestown, there was a hot sauce spot, and you know they had a wall of flame. Of course, I got to get on the wall of flame, and so they have a disclaimer, and on the disclaimer, it tries to scare you. You may die, you know, you may go to the hospital, you may do, you know, it's just. Yeah, they try to scare you. This place in Jamestown, it's probably not there anymore because it was a long time ago. She rings this like fire bell, bing, 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 bing. And I go, well, what's that for? She goes, well, I'm just telling the fire department what is about to happen. So she had this whole thing she played out. Now at Sidelines, they got something similar. Now, they don't have a fire bell. What they do have is a flashing red light, you know, that police have on their cars. They take out of their glove compartment, stick on their car. Well, that's what this is, just a flashing red light. And she puts it on the, after my disclaimer information, she puts this red light up on the, on my booth. And then she gives me gloves. So I got to have my gloves on because it's hot sauce. I understand that. You know, you don't want to touch your eye when you got hot sauce. All right, you might as well go to the hospital right there and then. And so she gives me my gloves, and then she brings me my 10 chicken wings. Now, I don't mind heat at all. I really don't mind heat at all, as long as it's flavorful. I love a sweet heat. My hot sauce is a sweet heat, usually hickory. It's got some fruitiness to it. I mean, it's sweet, but it's powerful. And I like that. I like that a lot. So she brings me this little basket of chicken wings. My son's sitting there watching. He knows. He knows, Dad. And she goes, the timer's going to start when you take your first bite. And you can't leave anything on the bone. And you can't use your hand to pick the meat off. You got to use your mouth. You know, you can't wipe your mouth. You can't take a drink, you know, during this period of time of the challenge. So I said, all right. So this is all on a video on my YouTube channel, Terrible at Fishing. Sidelines Pizzeria or Bar and Grill or whatever it's called. Sidelines, you know, down on Main Street. And so I start, you know, and there's a trick. I will tell you, there is a trick. I've never been timed before. You know, I can handle heat, but nobody ever really timed me before. And there is a trick, and I will tell you that when you eat hot sauce or a pepper or something, it doesn't get hot, okay, until you swallow. So you need to chipmunk this thing or squirrel it, you know, squirrel it away in your cheeks. So I'm just, you know, getting the meat off of all these bones. I'm just storing it into my fat cheeks as much as I can. And then you just got to chew it up. And at that moment, when you swallow, then the heat's going to hit you. So I probably do like 3 or 4 of these wings and store it up in my fat cheeks. And then I swallow, and I said, all right. You know, it actually was very tasty. I will tell you that if you do this challenge, you will, if you can handle heat, you will enjoy the chicken wings. You're just going to have a good time eating them because they are very delicious. It is a sweet, almost pineapple mango type of sweetness to the barbecue sauce that they put on it. They say it's 2 million Scovilles, but I will tell you the one thing about Scoville units. Scoville units there's no industry standard to Scoville units. None. And so they could just say whatever they want. It's 2 million. 15 million. 500,000. Whatever. They just pick it out of the air. It all depends. If you're a wuss, it's high. If you're not a wuss, it's low. So I started eating all these wings. And I can't take a drink like I just did with my coffee. My lips are burning. I have a goatee, so it's like, and it's all red. My lips are burning. All right? And just because there were tears, it doesn't mean I was crying, because I wasn't crying. But you do tear up, your nose runs, stuff like that. I was able to blow my nose. I just couldn't wipe my mouth. And I think they want your lips to burn. That's why they didn't allow me to wipe my mouth. But so I finished all 10 wings fairly, within 5.5 minutes or so. It was quite a bit of food, actually. I thought it wasn't going to be that much food, but it wasn't too bad. And then as soon as I finished, to her satisfaction, she started the 5 minutes on the burn. Now, this really was the hardest part, because when you stop eating hot food, at that point you start feeling the hot heatness of that food. So this 5 minutes is really the torture test for an individual to not hit a drink. And she did allow me to wipe my mouth, but just not with a wet cloth. I had to use napkins. So it was still there. But she had a big wet towel ready for me at the end of 5 minutes. And, I did okay. I mean, you watch the video. I mean, there's some tearing, some nose running, which happens with hot food. I mean, I wasn't screaming. I wasn't crying. I wasn't, oh my God, this is so hot. No, I didn't do any of that. So these two older guys, they were at the bar, and they had seen a guy my size talk up his game and then die after 2 wings and started sucking on the cola machine's ice dispenser. So they were skeptics. But, this is Michael Ruffino. Yeah, Mr. Heat. I bring the heat. Even when I'm fishing, I bring the heat. So they were impressed. They high-fived me, these two older guys. After the 5 minutes, I was able to use that wet towel and clean my beard off and my lips. And, my lips were hot for like 10 minutes afterwards. And just call me Hot Lips, next time you see me. Yeah, Hot Lips. Yeah, that's right. It's because of sidelines. And then I got this beautiful shirt, black shirt, said sidelines. It says, I survived the Hot Wings Challenge, or something like that. And anyways, really nice shirt, t-shirt. And she took a picture of me with my t-shirt, my award. And I guess they'll print that picture one day and put it up on their wall of flame. At the end of the year, she says they're thinking about inviting everybody back that has survived and do a championship challenge. So piece of cake. And there's only one hot sauce, that I can't endure on that kind of level, and that's a hot sauce called Mad Dog. I use it in cooking, but you really can't use a lot of it. Mad Dog is probably the meanest hot sauce I've ever had in my life, and I've had a lot of hot sauces. I mean, Da Bomb ain't that. I mean, Da Bomb's just hot for hot. Dave's Insanity is just hot for hot. They're not tasty at all. There's just like a lot of vinegar and stuff, and it's not very good. But, so anyway, That's my challenge this week. Walking along Main Street, enjoying the day, and I get sucked into a restaurant, and I have not broken my streak. I am on every wall of flame I've ever stood in front of. I mean, this. I mean, you ever watch Princess Bride? Don't ever challenge a Sicilian. Best scene in Princess Bride is the Sicilian one, and that's me. Although I didn't die, so that Sicilian died. All right. In the next segment, we're going to tell you where I'm at right now. While you listen to this, I'm going to tell you where I'm at, and it's actually pretty cool.
Out in the backwoods under the stars, I tune in the radio from my old car. Gold Country Radio on Friday night. Terrible at fishing, but it feels just right.
Want to get your business noticed? Sponsor a show on KKFO Gold Country Radio on 103.3 FM and create awareness through on-air announcements, our online stream at goldcountryradio.org, and our podcasts that live on forever. Your message reaches a broad local audience while also targeting listeners who choose to tune in to the shows they love. Plus, we promote your sponsorship across our website and social media. For more information, email goldcountryradio@gmail.com. Call 541-238-6989 or visit goldcountryradio.org. Gold Country Radio, your message heard locally and beyond.
The Terrible and Fishy Radio Show. Michael's got the secrets and now you know. Can't lie, you cast just fine. Gold Country Radio.
Welcome back. Wow. So, first segment, I kind of depressed you. But you actually understand why I left California. Born and raised in California, for a state with geography, topography, and everything. It offers everything to everybody. The most beautiful islands to the lowest spot on Earth in Death Valley. So, and the tallest peak, Mount Whitney. And I've been to all those places. So anyway, we left because of the fires. Our love and prayers to all those down there. Now, where am I? Here you are. You're listening to me on the radio. I've pre-recorded this. It would be kind of fun to do a live broadcast one day, and I want to. But I'm not yet. But I would love to do a live broadcast. Maybe Mike and I can figure out how to do that. That would be a lot of fun. Maybe by phone or something like that. So there's this entertainment place. I know we have a family fun entertainment center here in Klamath Falls. I had no idea. Until fairly recently. And it's called the World of Arkai. I know. I never heard of what Arkai is, but Arkai is, I guess, a dragon-themed thing. Probably a card game or something like that. But anyway, John owns the World of Arkai. It's a family fun center. It's over on Main Street. And so that's where I am right now while you listen to this. Now, the neat thing is about the World of Arkai is that tonight, second Friday of every month, they invite local artisans and local vendors, into their fun center, and they set up a table, and they can sell their goods, all for nothing, at least at the moment. And that's what I'm doing now. So if here at the World of Arkai, it's 1111 Main Street. They do this to help local vendors sell their goods, and I think that's a really nice thing. Community radio is like that. We help everybody to enjoy each other. And anyway, John has actually opened up his fun center on the second Friday of every month, 4 to 9, to do this. So there are other vendors here, and they're all just share, sell what they want. Now, I do a lot of fishing stuff and crafts and art. So if you want to see my art, well, this is not a bad spot to do it, to see it, or to buy it. But I do a lot of other stuff too, and I will be making baits for the spring season here rather quickly, because I have to paint like hundreds of baits to do that. They're sold over at Lake of the Woods. And this year I'm going to focus a lot on finesse, very small hard baits. You'll catch a bunch with my hard baits and my soft baits and my spinners. I, catch a lot of stuff. Now, the neat thing, too, he does here, he has what's called a family night, too. And he does that. He's going to have a family night on Tuesday, January 21st. And again, it's free. And he brings in live reptiles, like alligators and lizards and snakes. And he's, hopefully some other animals too, for the kids to take pictures with and and to enjoy and get learn about them. So, to be honest, he's got a lot of fun stuff. See, family nights every third Tuesday, so it's every third Tuesday is family night, and then vendors event is every second Friday. Anyway. It's called the World of Arkai. It's 1111 Main Street, and I like. They has a laser tag, VR rooms, and other really cool stuff. But he's got a big arcade, and I was so excited so recently. It was so weird. I was in his store. We were talking about selling my stuff in his store, and I told him, I said, when I was in college, I liked the game Joust, where you flap around on an ostrich. I know ostriches don't fly, but in games, anything can fly. And you joust on a flying ostrich. I know. Just this theme is cool fun. And strangely enough, somebody called him and said, I have a Joust game like a week later. And now they got Joust. And my son and I were in there playing. Joust. He's got a pool table, air hockey, all sorts of other stuff in there. And the VR room is crazy cool. Or not the VR room. Well, the VR room is too, but the laser tag room is pretty cool. I mean, it's psychedelic. It's black light and it's just really cool. And he's got a little snack bar there with very affordable snacks and a little store that he sells, crafts and stuff like that, toys. And so really really a neat place. I had no idea. He's actually looking to expand, so he's looking for a bigger spot. I think he wants like 60,000 square feet or something. So it's actually really neat. So John is the owner of it, and he's trying to, create like a destination where kids and families can enjoy themselves, and vendors like me can sell their goods, at least once in a while. But it's actually really a neat place. You guys should. I was impressed. I didn't know it existed until I saw him on Facebook. And on Facebook, it was like, "What is this?" And then I asked my kids, because they're into D&D and stuff, and I was like, "Have you ever been in that place?" They go, "No." And it's like, it's right on Main Street. I mean, it's a fairly short walk from my home. And it's like, so so I told you that Russell and I, we went for a walk and we hit sidelines. We also stopped by the World of Arkai and played Joust and talked to John about this event for vendors. So really kind of cool. Anything that allows vendors to get some visibility, especially, tonight where you're listening to this, he's not charging a thing for the vendors to do this. And, it's just one of those really cool things that he's doing to help the community. You need to stop by. I mean, you're listening to this show right now. You should stop by, say hi to me. And check out the place. This is as close as I get to a live broadcast. We're recording this now to be played while I'm there and invite you in. This is as close to a live broadcast I get. So, anyway, I've been making a lot of stuff, art, and really cool stuff. I mean, I just got done making a. These are phone stands, dragon themed, because I have some that of other stuff too, but these are dragon themed and they turned out really cool. So. And then I've got a dragon clock that I still haven't finished. I just cut it and painted it, so it's got to be glued and then assembled and then finished off. But it's a lot of fun. I mean, you got to check. I mean, Klamath Falls got a lot of stuff that I've yet to I'll fully explore. I mean, I love the museum. If you've never been to the Klamath Falls Museum, you gotta go. It is amazing to me that how many people live in Klamath Falls and have not been to the museum, or have not even been to Lake of the Woods. It's crazy that people have not done these things. And the Klamath Museum's nothing practically to pay. And they got this luminescent rock display that glows in the dark. So you walk into this dark room and all the gems glow. I mean, how cool is that? And then, it's got that cool World War II intercontinental weapon on display, which I didn't even know there were intercontinental weapons in World War II. And cars and really nice looking exhibits. And then we got the Fauvel Museum. I hope I said that right. Which focuses a lot on the indigenous people of the West Coast. They even have a Chumash exhibit there, which is the largest exhibit of Chumash artifacts is in my hometown, Lompoc. And of course, the La Purísima Museum or La Purísima Mission in Lompoc also has a huge indigenous collection. It's one of only 2 missions in California that are owned by the state. All other missions are owned by the Catholic Church. And so there's local, right next to the Fauvel, there's a little museum or gallery that features local artists. And I forgot the name of it. Klamath Falls. I know people just, when it gets Klamath Falls. No. I'm not from here, so I appreciate what it has to offer. The mayor's done a very good job, I think, in making this town attractive because it attracted my family. Although leaving the fires of LA was pretty easy to do. Although this place was on fire back then. I know, I'm sorry. But we live in a very cool town. We got a children's activity museum or something like that over on East Main Street. And we have all sorts of stuff. Got the logging museum, not too far away, 25, 30 minutes. And Crater Lake within an hour. And it's just, we are blessed here in Klamath Falls to have what we have. And our main street has been done up rather well. I mean, I live just 3 blocks above it, and so we go down there and walk. And there's always a little shop, a nook that I like to walk into, and say hi, introduce myself. I like to say hi to people. I'm a very, very congenial person. I will say hi to anybody I walk by on the street. Or even if they're at the light in their car, I'll wave at them. They're probably thinking, who is that old guy? I just like saying hi to people. So, enjoy what we've got. We got some pretty fun stuff. World of Archives, where I'm at right now. And, but check out the museums and the galleries. I love that. I really, really, really love art. And I love the murals and stuff. The electrical boxes and stuff like that are painted here in town. So, all right, we'll talk about fishing. Finally, we're going to talk about fishing in the next segment after these words. See you in a minute, or 2, or 3.
Out in the backwoods under the stars, I tune in the radio from my old car. Gold Country Radio on Friday night. Terrible at fishing, but it feels just right.
Want to get your business noticed? Sponsor a show on KKFO Gold Country Radio on 103.3 FM and create awareness through on-air announcements, our online stream at goldcountryradio.org, and our podcasts that live on forever. Your message reaches a broad local audience while also targeting listeners who choose to tune in to the shows they love. Plus, we promote your sponsorship across our website and social media. For more information, email goldcountryradio@gmail.com. Call 541-238-6989 or visit goldcountryradio.org. Gold Country Radio, your message heard locally and beyond.
The Terrible at Fishing Radio Show. Michael's got the secrets and now you know. Can't lie, you cast just fine. Gold Country Radio.
Welcome back to Terrible at Fishing. I know, we're finally going to talk about fishing. I went on and on about the fires, our experience. Went on and on about my Hot Wings Challenge. And then the Family Fun Center here in town, where I'm at right now. So stop by and say hi. Fishing, ice fishing. Now, Diamond Lake is open for ice fishing. I've been watching the cameras. People are out there. But again, it is inconsistent. So you have a spud bar. A spud bar is a metal spike along, and you're just pounding the ice in front of you. What you want to do, and I've told you this over and over again, but please, as you walk out on the ice, pound it hard as you can a couple times. See if you can break through it. And if you can break through it, maybe you shouldn't be walking on it. But if you go in like 4 or 5 times and break through it, and put your hand, take your gloves off, put your hand in there and measure that ice. All right, and see if it's 4 inches. If it's 4 inches, then continue walking. But don't walk too far. Okay, people have broken through the ice at Diamond Lake. Just, not all the way, but, one leg. And when one leg goes through the ice, you can't break your leg. So please be careful. Now, people are out there ice fishing. There's some spots that are measuring up to 10 inches of ice, which is very, 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 very safe. But you want to be very, very safe. Now, Lake of the Woods is not thick enough yet. Although I'm about to go up there and measure. I've called up there, and they haven't measured yet. And they still have a little bit of open water over at sunset. So you could ice fish, okay, when there's open water on another part of the lake. And typically over in the Aspen area, that area is actually really good fishing on the ice, and usually the thickest ice is over in Aspen. So if you go to the northern part of the lake, usually you can get onto ice and ice fishing before the southern part of the lake is done freezing. So I need to go up there and do a little exploring because they're not doing it. We'll get up there. Evidently I left something up there, and they got it put aside for me. I don't know. Something. I don't know. So evidently I don't miss it because I don't know what it is. But I do the fishing events, and evidently the last fishing event I left something there. So, Lake of the Woods. Spud Bar, any place that you go, Gerber Lake, Fish Lake, if you snowmobile the 4 Mile, wherever, make sure you spud bar it and you're safe. You're wearing all your safety gear and you're doing it. Now, I've been tying flies, and the nice thing is next week on Tuesday night at the Waffle Hut at 6:30 or so is the fly tying club, fly fishing club. And so if you want to join the fly fishing club here in town, you could go to Waffle Hut this Tuesday and 6:30 or so, and you can say hi to everybody. You don't have to join. You can just come and visit and say hi. And say, I usually, everybody brings stuff to raffle off, so it's kind of fun for the club. And I'll bring stuff, and I got some pretty neat stuff for tie flying. And so we'll bring that and have them raffle it off. And so there are some really fun things that are happening. Now, I am enjoying the fly tying, even though I don't know how to fly fish yet. And fly tying is quite tiny. That's all I can tell you, man. I mean, it's like I need not only my glasses but a magnifying glass, and I'm putting the thread on it, and then the feathers, and I got an instruction book that step by steps how to do these things, and it's actually pretty cool. If you've never tie fly, whether you fly fish or not, doesn't really matter. Tie flying is actually a lot of fun. I guess, if you like crafts, tie flying, flying a tie, tying a fly, flying a tie, whatever it is. Tying a fly is quite relaxing. And you're just having fun making something. And the neat thing about making baits is that if you catch something with something you made, that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. I mean, I do it all the time. There's not a bait that I throw, I don't think. There might be a few. Very few. that I didn't make. I mean, I've got thousands of baits that literally is in my arsenal, and I've made every one of them. Just about. I say 98%. So there's probably 2%. There is a company called Six Sense. I do like one of their baits called a swank. The swank bait is, I can't find the blank for it, so I literally buy theirs. And the swank is one of my favorite baits to throw for bass fishing in the summer. And the swank is, I mean, if you get it on clearance, which, by the way, they usually have one on clearance, I mean, it's great, but they will catch fish. And I've caught a lot of personal best bass on swanks. It is probably the only bait that I recommend that I don't make is the swank by Six Sense. Again, I wish I could find the blank for it so I can paint my own. It's really good. It's a really good bait. So I'm going to, this next week, I'm going to head up to Diamond Lake and do some ice fishing. And that's going to be a lot of fun because I've never fished Diamond Lake. I've never done it. And if you go on their camera, you'll see quite a few people out there, out on the lake, on the ice. And so I got to try it. And so I'm so hungry to go ice fishing right now. And whether, you're probably wondering about the Kite Festival next month, at Lake of the Woods. Don't know if that's going to go or not because, again, they got to have pretty thick ice to put a lot of people on the ice. On ice fishermen, we take precautions, but the general public, they don't want 1,000 people to be running out there and fall through the ice. So I don't know if the Kite Festival is actually going to go on or not, but my guess is yes. I've been told by Lake of the Woods, maybe not. So, but I got this new thing too. I got another new thing for fishing. This is called, it's called a proof ball. You probably thinking like, what's a ball prove? It's called a proof ball, right there. I'm gonna show you my camera so you can. Something else that's really cool. This show on goldcountryradio.org. You can listen to it on demand now, so you don't have to just listen to it at 7:00 on Friday nights. Although I also post it on with video on my YouTube channel, but also on goldcountryradio.org, you can go ahead and replay any of my shows whenever you want. So very cool. It's something new, and I'm the first show with it. So anyway, the proof ball. I was on Facebook, and somebody showed a picture of a trout they caught, and it had. Underneath it, it had the measurement, it had the weight, it had the girth, and it had the species, all stamped into the picture. And I'm thinking, well, so I asked, well, how did you do that? And they go, there's this app that does it, and it uses AI to measure it and to identify it, and it's called Fish Techie. FISH, like fish, Techie, TECHY. So Fish Techie is the name of the app. Now, the app is free. So they make their money by selling these things called proof balls. So the AI uses this ball when it's next to the fish to estimate size, girth, weight, and identify the species. He uses this ball. It's a 1.4-inch ball, orange. It's made of rubber. It's on a keychain. And when you buy them on Amazon, you paid $30, and you go to flytechy.com. FLYTECHY, flytechy.com. The app is called Fish Techie. I don't know why one is different from the other, but flytechy.com, you can read about it and see what you think. I haven't used it yet, but I just got it. It took forever to get the balls. Took forever. But, a month later, it showed up, and it was like, wow, I forgot I even ordered that thing. And so now, whenever I catch a fish, I could put this ball next to the fish, take a picture of it, and it tells me everything I want to know about the fish. Now, the great thing about this is, one, it's easy. I mean, I usually take a picture of my fish anyway. But when you have to weigh the fish, measure the fish, things like that, the fish has to be out of the water a lot, and then you're traumatizing the fish to some degree. So, you know, this reduces trauma on the fish by substantial means. And it's easy. It's just a little ball. And you can hold the ball next to the fish, take a picture of it, and done. And release the fish back in the water. And this is really kind of cool. Anything to release that fish faster is a big, big plus. And without putting a hook in its gill to measure it or to weigh it, laying it down onto a board and measuring it. This little guy right here, I don't know, you know, if you're a tournament guy, you're probably going to do it the old-fashioned way. Anyway, but I'm not a tournament guy, and although once in a while I do fish tournaments, but I'm not a regular. But this little ball is called the Proof Ball by Fly Techy. FLYTECHY. If you go to flytechy.com, you'll read about it. And the app is called Fish Techy. Don't ask me why it's a different name, because it is. And then you register your balls on the site, on the app. And that's what you do. So you got, you can add a proof ball. So anyway, consider the price of the balls the price for the app. But I really think this is going to be really nice to have. So I want to thank you guys for tuning in and listening to the show this week. You know where I'm at right now, and our love and our prayers go to our friends and families and our and everybody else in the Los Angeles area. We really hope not only that you only lose stuff if you lose anything, because remember, it's only stuff. You have each other, and memories don't burn away. Take care, everybody. We'll see you next week.
That was Terrible at Fishing, the radio show, with fishing expert Michael Ruffino. Check out Terrible at Fishing on YouTube, and tune in next week for the next episode and more great fishing tips. Terrible at Fishing, Fridays at 7 p.m. on Gold Country Radio.